Check, check. Check, check, check. Microphone check. Got to get this live stream started and check if everything is working. I believe that my camera is working. I also believe that my microphone is working. But if anybody is tuning in, please let me know if I'm visible and audible. If you guys can hear me and see me, just let me know. That would be great. And then we're going to continue because I just wanted to do a little live stream today because it's my birthday. Today I'm 36 years old. I feel old. And I just wanted to hang with you guys and, you know, chat about music, gear, and whatever you guys want, basically. Thanks, wisey guy. Thanks for tuning in. People are coming in, and before we get to any questions that I hope you guys will have, I'm gonna talk about something new. Check it out. I'm gonna do a full demo and review of this guitar on the channel soon, but this is my new Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s. Gibson Les Paul Standard from 2021, and it smells awesome. Giovanni, thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, so this is my my new Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s model, and like I said, I'm going to do an in-depth review and demo on this guitar soon, just as I did with my Les Paul Custom that I got recently. Hey, Jonesy, thank you. Yeah, and I got this directly from Gibson at their showroom. They have a special showroom in the Netherlands, and honestly, it's a really nice guitar. And it's a little bit different than some other Les Pauls that I've had or have played over the years. Various standards from the 2000s, mostly from those years. And what I did notice about a lot of those guitars is that they were heavy, which is not a bad thing in my opinion, but they also weren't really open and resonant sounding, while this one is really... It probably won't come through over the microphone, over the internet, but this is like a really resonant and bright-ish sounding guitar. So it has a lot of tone, which is great. It also has a beautiful top. This is the iced tea finish. And this neck, the 60s neck profile, is very slim. It's a very fast playing neck. Yep, Seth, we've got some Grover tuners on here, which is cool. And the frets are really good as well. So the action is nice and low. I have basically only positive things to say about this guitar, except for the fact that I did not really like the factory pickups, which were the Burstbucker 61 pickups. I mean, they sounded all right for very vintage tones and stuff like that, but just they weren't good at all, in my opinion, for heavier styles like heavy rock and metal. Because what happened, especially with lower chords, and especially when down tuning the guitar to drop D and stuff, the chords got really mushy sounding, you know, not thick, not a good attack and stuff like that. So I almost immediately wanted to swap out my pickups. By the way, guys, if you guys have any questions, just drop them in the chat for me and I'll get to those in a minute, okay? Just ask me whatever you want, and we're going to do that in a minute. So I wanted to change these pickups. The problem is that I did not know how to solder. So I bought myself a soldering iron and a whole kit with a bunch of tools, and I learned how to solder. And now I can change pickups. Woohoo! Life upgrade. Woohoo! So I'm actually pretty stoked about that. So now I put in some Duncans, a 59 in the neck and a JB in the bridge. I really like the JB. I took these out of my old ESP LTD Elite Eclipse 1 guitar, so they are not super brand new looking, but it gives them a kind of cool weathered look, so to speak. It probably doesn't come across on camera, but yeah, these pickups are a huge upgrade. And in the actual demo and review video, I'm not going to use the stock pickups because there are plenty of videos out there with the stock pickups already. I'm just going to use my Seymour Duncans and kind of look at it from that perspective. So yeah, this is a killer guitar and I love it. And I think you'll be seeing this a lot on the channel in the future, alongside the Les Paul Custom, of course, and this other beast that I have back here. I'll show you this guitar as well, because it's a special day. And by the way, guys, thanks for tuning in and thanks for all your happy birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Don't be afraid to drop any questions. I don't see any, I see one question. So bring on the questions. Don't be afraid to ask me anything about my amps, about my guitars, about recording, mixing, my videos, etc. So keep them coming. And before we do, this is another new instrument. I had to sell a bunch of guitars to get these new guitars, by the way, because contrary to what some of you might believe, I'm not very rich. Yeah, this is a Schecter 9-string, but this one is really special. This one is a 30-inch. This one has a 30-inch scale. And it's a really cool guitar. It's a really good guitar. It's insane. But I think I'm going to release my in-depth demo and review on this guitar tomorrow on the channel. It's a really cool video. I used my Angle Fireball 100 again, because that's a great amp for extended range guitars. And also my Victory Super Kraken VX100, which is also an amazing amp. I guess you guys have seen the review and demo on that already. If you haven't, do check it out. And if you have any questions about this amplifier as well, just let me know. So yeah, and enough of this. Let's get to the nitty gritty and let's answer some questions. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks for joining me on my birthday. It's going to be fun to hang with you guys for a little bit. Okay, let's get to the questions. Good IRs for DV77 speaker. XFX3 user, thanks. Well, check out the York Audio York 212 DV77 pack. It's great. I use it a lot in my videos. And I think those IRs speak for themselves because they are really good. The Metal Foundry says, gorgeous guitar. Thank you. Yeah, it's an amazing guitar. I love Gibson Les Pauls. I've loved them forever, and I always will. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Mr. Coatsworth, JPs have a huge output. You mean JBs? You mean the Seymour Duncan JBs, I assume? Compared to my Gibson pickups, they sound like you've turned on a tube screamer. Well, I don't know. I don't think that the output of the Barschbacher 61s was really low, but it was just like the whole frequency response was a bit off for me. And it's not like the JB is super hot, to be honest. It's in my guitar at least, it's like your average output humbucker, I think. But yeah, and I don't think that they have that tube screamer sound. I think that Fishman's on the active voicing, those have a tube screamer type sound, but not any Seymour Duncan that I've tried. But of course, it might vary in other guitars. Tay White says, have you ever used the slave out on your recto to record? Is there any difference to the line out you'd get from a load box? Good question, Tay. I have not. Let me get a sip of my tea. I've never tried that. Basically, what I always do is use my load box, because then the sound of the power amp also gets recorded. If you use the slave out, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that you bypass the power amp. And I don't want that. When I record my tube amps, I want the signal of the entire amplifier to come through. And with a good load box, you can always do that, of course. So have never found a reason to try that. But of course, you can try. You'd have to be careful that you do use a load on your amplifier, though. Otherwise, it might break. Giovanni Hernandez, what's your go-to amp every day and your go-to boost? I don't have like a correct answer for you because I don't have a go-to amplifier. I try to use different things every day. However, there are a couple of amps that I've been using more frequently recently. One of them is my Engel Fireball 100. It's just one of those amps that always works, especially for heavy stuff and especially for super low tunings. That's one of my favorite amps for metal, hands down. But I've been really enjoying the Victory Super Kraken VX100 because it's such a cool sounding amplifier. It has a really meaty mid-range, sounds really good in a mix. You can hear this amp and this amp in my video tomorrow, my review of the Schecter 9-string. I hope you guys will enjoy that video. I worked really hard on it. And I don't really have a go-to boost. I have a bunch of boost pedals over here and over here that I like to try. However, I often grab the Laney Steel Park because it's a really versatile tube screamer-like pedal, but it has a low and a high shelf. So you can cut your low end or boost your low end. And the same thing goes for the high end / mid frequencies. So that's a great pedal. And it also has 3 voicing options. Let me just pick that up for you. I'll show you a couple of my boost pedals because it's fun. Yeah, so these are just like basic boost pedals. Oh, wait, where's the Steel Park? I forgot the Laney. Just a second. Here we go. No. Sometimes I can't find my pedals. Yeah, I can't find my Laney pedal right now. Like the number 1 pedal that I wanted to show you guys is, I don't know, it's somewhere, but I can't find it. Yeah, the Laney pedal is a really fun drive pedal, the Laney Steel Park. Check that out if you want a sort of versatile tube screamer. And I also got this one recently, the Dirty Tree by Peppers, which is a really cool pedal as well. I also did a full demo and review of this pedal on the channel recently, so check it out if you're interested. If you're into the sound of Meshuggah, for example, this is the pedal to get, basically. This one is also very cool. A classic, a very affordable classic as well. Has a nice mid-range grind to it. Very cool. This one is a classic, of course, as well. Your Odie 808. It's a bit smoother sounding than the Boss. And then we also have the Electro-Harmonix Soul Food, which is a more transparent sounding boost, basically. Also a very nice pedal. This can basically add overdrive to your clean channel. So if you have a very clean channel, if you wanted to have some edge, this one is a great pedal for a sort of really transparent and natural overdrive. And then this Mud Killer pedal by Electric Eye Audio is also very nice. It's a great way to get your sound nice and tight and aggressive. So that's also a cool one. And then, of course, you also have the MXR 10-band EQ, which can also be very useful for shaping the tone going into your amplifier or in your effects loop, of course. I don't really use this pedal often, but it's a very powerful pedal. If you're into shaping the tone of your guitar, pickups, or the response of your amplifier, this is the one to get, basically. I want to use this more in the future. I should make a video on this, actually, on how to use it in front of your amplifier and also how to use it in your loop. Because a lot of people on the internet like to say, yeah, I always put a 10-band EQ in the loop and bam, and then the amp comes to life. Well, what are you doing with the EQ? Why is it coming to life? Are you cutting the mids? Are you boosting the mids? Are you adding treble? Are you cutting the bass? it's like a very powerful tool, and it's not just a tool that you slap on there and then it's good. You have to actually do something with it in order to make it change the sound. So very cool pedal as well. I feel a little bit stupid about losing the Laney. Let me get one more look. It should be up here somewhere. Where's my Laney? Oh man. Yeah, I can't find it right now. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, again, the Laney Steel Park is basically my go-to boost pedal. It took a while to answer that question, but thanks for hanging out. And thanks again for the birthday comments, guys. Really appreciate it. 36 years old. I feel old, but I feel happy. I feel fine. Yeah, keep the questions coming. All right, let's go. Let's continue. Mr. Coatsworth, how do you like the new Meshuggah song? Yeah, I really like it. I've only listened to it a couple of times because I like to keep things as fresh as possible for when I get the actual album. But I'm pretty excited. I'm also very excited to listen to the new Steve Vai record, which is coming my way tomorrow, hopefully, and also the new Korn record. I'm also looking forward to listening to that. But yeah, the Meshuggah record, man, I can't wait. I've been really listening to the Violent Sleep of Reason recently, and it's such a cool album. It's so raw and still sort of unpredictable because I really know all those other records through and through, and their latest record is still somewhat new and fresh. So I've been really listening to that one as well. Great music. Meshuggah can't do anything wrong, basically. Tonefish, good morning from icy North Texas. Good morning to you too. I hope it's not too cold. Norman Waller, can you speak on what scale lengths are more optimal for certain tunings? That's a broad question. Well, it's also a very personal question because some people like to go very low with standard scale lengths, like 25.5. You can get away with pretty low tunings on a standard scale guitar. I mean, in Flames, for example, they use B flat and drop A flat on a 24.75 inch scale, which is the Gibson scale, and it sounds pretty thick. For really low stuff like B flat and drop A flat and those types of tunings, I prefer baritone guitars. 27-inch scale, for example. I like 25.5 for drop C usually, although the Gibson scale is also fine for that. For 8-string, when you get in the 8-string territory, I believe that 27 inches is the minimum for me anyway. I used to have a couple of 8-string guitars with a 27-inch scale that weren't great on F sharp, but now that I have the LTD Stephen Carpenter one, the red one, that's a perfect guitar, even with a relatively short scale of 27 inches. So you just have to find the right guitar. But now that I also have two 9-strings, and one of them is 28 inches long, which is kind of short actually for a 9-string. And then I also have this Schecter now, which is 30 inches long. It's so much better. So if you like clarity and articulate tones, then the longer is the scale, the better, basically. I hope that sort of answers your question. Thanks for the comments, guys, and thanks for the encouragement. Really appreciate it. Usually what I do is I go over all the questions here, but then sometimes it takes a little while for me to get to the bottom question. So I'm not sure how to do this, how to keep your attention. I'm just gonna keep on going, but keep the questions coming, guys. Let's see. Did you see Jim Lill's video on debunking Tonewoods? I did not. I believe in Tonewood. I've experienced a lot of things with that. Let me put it like that. But I do think that tone woods do matter. But I think that you can also get great tones without any wood, or it's a pretty difficult topic. But I do think that it matters definitely. I mean, I have 4 models of the same guitar, the LTD Phoenix models. They all have a different weight and they all sound different. And not only because of the pickups, but also because of the wood. I also have a bunch of ESP LTD Eclipses, and they also all sound different. So it definitely matters, but to what extent, that's really personal, I think. And thanks again for all the comments, guys. Oh, what's in the mug, says James. Tea, green tea. Nothing crazy. Oh, I drink a lot of green tea because I had a kidney stone years ago. And then I started drinking green tea because green tea is supposed to be good for stopping the buildup of the stuff that makes kidney stones or whatever. And I also just like the warm green tea. I love it. So I drink a lot of green tea during the day. Let's continue. Let's see. Nike Stoyan. Hello, greetings from Moldova. Moldova? Thank you for your videos. Really informative. Thank you. I enjoy those where the MT15 is featured, as I own one. I got another one of those coming up soon. A to boost or not to boost episode with the MT15 next week or the week after. What overdrives, fuzzes can you recommend with that amp? Well, that's also, again, very personal. The thing about the MT15, which I have up here, is that it's a kind of tight amplifier. It's not like super tight, like your Angle Iron Ball, for example, which is really tight. You know, to boost that amplifier, you can't go wrong with a Tube Screamer or something like this, or the Laney Steel Park. It really depends on what kind of guitars you're using and what kind of tones you're after. By default, that amp is sort of meaty sounding. So it's not, like I said, super tight. It's also not super loose or anything like that. So for hard rock and heavy rock, it's great by default. But to make it super gnarly and tight, any of the boosts that I just showed you guys will do. So that's a really personal question. But in the video next week, I think I combined it with the Maxon, which is, one of those pedals that always works, basically. I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any more questions. Jorke Oldfather, where do you live? Ha ha ha, I'm sure you'd like to know. I live in the Netherlands, in Utrecht, which is a city right in the center of the Netherlands. It's a great city. It's nice. Dirty D asks, how long did it take to receive your order from Wong's? Well, Dirty D, in my case, it took a week or something. The shipping isn't too bad, actually. Do take into account that you may have to pay for the import duties and stuff. You can always send them a message and ask them how long the shipping time is. That never hurts. Hey, and again, thanks for tuning in, everybody. And thanks for the birthday wishes. And thanks for all the questions. Keep them coming. I'm going to do my best to answer all of your questions. Mr. Coatsworth says, Violent Sleep of Reason is amazing. Yes, it is. I like that record right now because, as I said a couple minutes ago, it's still somewhat unpredictable. You know what I mean? Some of the riffs on that album are really sort of random, which is maybe an odd thing to say about Meshuggah because for some people, everything they do sounds random, but that album really is extra random. So it's still very interesting to listen to. Nathaniel Alpha Putra TE055. Hello, wish you all the best. Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Have you ever played a Jazzmaster guitar? Tell us your experience. I have not. But the Jim Root Jazzmaster sure looks awesome. I'd love to have one of those. So I don't have any Jazzmaster models, but I do love my offset Phoenix models, like this one, for example. This is such a cool guitar. It's not a Jazzmaster, I know, but it's one of those guitars that is kind of similar to a Jazzmaster. I have 4 of these with different finishes and different pickup options. Really nice guitars, really nice. Neck through as well, which is cool. Yeah. So unfortunately, no jazz masters yet, but maybe a gym route one day. But it's not really on top of my wish list. All right. Thong DeLong, happy birthday. Thank you. Found your channel the other day. Really helped me choose my next amp to use live on Twitch. Awesome. Let us know which amp that is, dude. That's great. Glad to be of service. Chris Getman, happy birthday, dude. Mine was yesterday. Congrats. I play an A standard in regular scale jazz master. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. I mean, the shorter scales definitely can work. They just sound a little bit thicker and more girthy than baritone guitars, for example. Also depending on the pickups, of course. But of course, yeah, that all works. Suomi, what's up? For scale length tuning and depth video, I would suggest The Bun on YouTube. Yeah, he's great. The Bun is awesome. Scott is the man. Mr. Coatsworth says, you have that one video about Iron Maiden's The Final Frontier. Did you enjoy Senjutsu too? Yeah, I've listened to the whole thing 2 or 3 times now. So it's a little bit hard to judge the whole album, but I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's a little bit on the epic and slower side, but I don't really mind that. I think it's cool. I like Maiden. Yeah. I've also been listening to this Alice in Chains record today. Black Gives Way to Blue. Damn, that's a good record. Damn, that was my first time listening to that whole thing today. And also listening to a couple of tunes of the new Dream Theater record, which is also so cool. Personal Freedom asks, do you have a video or tutorials for blending amps? Dude, I recently released a video on blending amplifiers with my rectifier and my PV6505. Definitely check that video out. It's a fun video. And if that does not contain enough information, let me know and I'll do more. Brad asks, is it worth it to get a Gibson R9 over a standard? I've never tried any custom shop Les Pauls aside from my Les Paul custom. So I can't really comment on the more sort of standard Gibson Les Paul customs. So I don't know. I mean, my standard is really nice. There aren't a lot of things that I would change about this guitar, to be honest. I mean, the wood is good. The neck feels great. The frets are rounded off so nicely. So yeah, the action is nice and low. It plays really fast if you wanted to. The sound is great. What would I change? Nothing really. Yeah, it's a really good guitar. So, and this is already pretty expensive for a normal guitar, to be honest. So, but then again, if you're really into that thing, that whole custom shop reissue thing, then one of those R9s could be really cool. Hard for me to say. I really recommend trying them in person and comparing. Keep in mind, though, that usually the stock strings are pretty dead sounding on most guitars, in my experience anyway. When I just got both of my Les Pauls, my custom as well, the stock strings weren't doing the guitar justice. Then when I put the elixirs on and adjusted the action and stuff, then the guitar really came to life. So when you're going to a store, that's not even the ultimate way to try a guitar. The ultimate way to try a guitar is putting your own strings on it, adjusting the action a little bit, and playing through it on your own setup, and then you can really judge how good a guitar is. So yeah, I'm not the best person to answer that question, but I hope whatever I said helps. Henry Klein. You're my go-to review channel. Sorry, I almost called you an imposter on the Mesa Facebook group. You almost called me an imposter. Well, you didn't, apparently. So thanks for not calling me an imposter, because I'm me. I'm me. And I am on Facebook quite often. I can never stop chatting about gear. I like to post pictures of my gear on various Facebook groups and stuff like that. So it's me. It's me. And why would anybody want to act as if they were me? It's not like I'm a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers or something like that. Let me see. Let's continue with your questions. And again, guys, keep the questions coming. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad you guys want to hang with me for a bit. Janusz Chichanowski. Hello from Poland. Can you recommend the Marshall DSL-20 for home use and for home recording? Sure. If that's the tone you're after. The DSL 100 is also great, by the way. It's such a killer amp. It's also pretty affordable, especially right now at Thomann, I believe. I saw it for around 500 euros or something, which is a great price for a 100 watt head. Also, the levels are very controllable, so it's easy to use on lower levels. Mine is anyway. The DSL-20, it's quite a high gain amp for a Marshall. It's not as classic and low or mid gain sounding as one of these guys, for example. You know, the JCM 800 Studio or the Mini Plexi. You know, if you want a really classic, crunchy Marshall sound, perhaps look at one of those. But the DSL ones are great for a bit more modern flavor with a lot of gain, some girth, some fat low end, and a nice cutting top end. Yeah, great amps, sure. But just make sure that you really like the tone before you get one. Check my videos because I have a lot of videos with that amplifier. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, guys. Really appreciate it. The Metal Foundry says, I see on your arm that you're also a Reload fan. Of course, yes, I'm a Load and Reload fan, but Carpe Diem Baby is one of my all-time favorite songs by one of my all-time favorite bands. I love Metallica, and I love that song. And that record is just, yeah, very cool. I even love Low Man's Lyric and songs like those, like the really underrated songs are really my favorites usually for some reason. Pardon me, I just burped. I don't like burping on camera, so I'm sorry about that. Tay White, do you use a noise gate? Sure, I use gates all the time. Not so much for shaping the tone, you know, for like that super tight and modern sort of chopped off attack, but more to just clean out the hiss and noise. Since my Fractal Audio XFX is basically my main recording hub for my amp tones and my modeling tones, basically for recording my DIs, I always use a gate in front of the amplifier or the amp model. And with real amps, I also use a gate after the amplifier, just to clean out some hiss and stuff like that, but not to alter the tone in any way. And if I use something like Helix Native, which I also use very often, then I just use the built-in gate in that plugin. I hope that helps. Okita Suji. Hey, man, happy birthday. Thank you. Greetings from Colombia. Good morning. What do you think about the Orange Rockerverb for playing metal? Thanks for all your hard work. Well, the Orange Rockerverb is an amazing amplifier for pretty much any genre. It has a very thick sound with, you know, a very thick low end, sort of loose, as people might say. It's not super tight, not like if you know what I mean. But of course, you can always use a boost pedal up front to make it sound more if you know what I mean, or an equalizer pedal. I touched on this earlier in the live stream, but this can be such a powerful tool to put in front of your amplifier or in the loop. So if you want 10 boost pedals for various reasons without any distortion, perhaps think of one of these. Great pedal. But yeah, the Rockerverb is a great amplifier for rock, I'm a little bit tired. Sorry about that. It's not your fault. Yeah, but for metal, it can certainly work. I mean, Jim Root from Slipknot has certainly proved that it's a great amplifier for metal, but just in case it's not aggressive and tight enough for you, consider getting a boost pedal to go along with it, and it will do just fine. It's absolutely a great amplifier. I love my Rockaverb a lot. Design is Life asks, Seymour Duncan distortion or JB for metal tone? I have never tried the distortion, so I can't say. I can say that the JB is great for metal, absolutely. But I've never tried a distortion. I should, now that I can solder. Check this thing out. Wait. So this guitar, this is my ESP LTD Elite, which is a made in Japan LTD, actually. It's made in the E2 factory. They only made these for a year. So this is basically your ESP Eclipse. I use this guitar to practice my new soldering skills. And I put a SH5 Seymour Duncan, a custom in the bridge, and a jazz in the neck. And those are also great. I forgot why I wanted to show this to you, but anyway, so this is basically a guitar, makes it easy for me to swap out pickups. So I might try a distortion in this guitar one day just to see how it compares to the custom and the JB that I used to have in here. All right. Just a sec. Okay. Thanks again for all your birthday wishes, guys. Really appreciate it. Daniel Adler, happy birthday. Given the amount of work you put in this channel, are you happy with its current status so far? Things are going as planned, I hope. That's a great question. Well, I'm very happy to be where I am now. I feel very fortunate that I'm able to do this thing for a living. It's not just doing videos. I also do professional mixing jobs for rock and metal bands. I also do media jobs sometimes for companies. So some companies hire me for little jobs here and there, like Stephen Slade, Slade Digital, for example. So it's not possible for me to make a living completely with my channel because it's kind of hard to make a good amount of money on YouTube. For me, it is, at least. For some people, if you got a lot more subscribers, then it becomes easier and easier, of course. But I'm very happy that I almost have 36,000 subscribers. Let me check. I think I've got a couple more to go. Yeah, so I need 20 subscribers, and then I've got 36,000 subscribers. But the thing about the whole monetization thing is that sometimes the curve goes up and you get a nice amount of money, not a lot, but where you can say, oh, wow, that made it possible for me to pay my rent and food for 1 month. That has happened once or twice, but usually it's lower. And I've also noticed that it's becoming harder and harder to get views nowadays. Sometimes I release a video where it gets a lot of views, like the Gibson Les Paul custom video did really well. And then sometimes I work really hard on a video and then I put it out and then it doesn't get a lot of views. And that's sometimes a little hard because when this is your job, of course, you need to make some sort of money. So the money thing isn't ideal yet. I hope to reach a point where it becomes a little bit more stable, because right now financially it's a little bit unpredictable and sometimes a little bit scary because you don't know how much you're going to make every month. But that's just how it goes. That's I'm my own boss. I've got my own company, and that's never super easy and that's never super predictable. But man, I'm very happy to be doing what I'm doing, and I'm really appreciative of all the support and all the comments and views and likes, because that all means a lot. All of that stuff is literally feeding my kids. So I'm really, really happy about that. I'm really thankful for what I'm able to do for a living. Thanks for the question. I'm sorry for the super long answer, but yeah, that's my life. I do like to talk about that sort of stuff sometimes because it's honest and it's the reality of things. Nike Stoyan, thanks. We'll definitely see the upcoming video. I played a PRS SE 245 in drop C and looking to get percussive tight saturated tones and a wall of sound type fuzz with lots and lots of reverb. Cool. I am I'm not really a fuzz expert. I've got almost no experience with fuzz pedals whatsoever, so I'm the worst person to ask about fuzzes. Sometimes in Helix Native or on Helix, I try different fuzz models for a very filthy tone, and that's a lot of fun. Greg Domier, any plans to demo or review the Mesa Badlander? No. I mean, it seems like a very cool amp, but I have no connection with Mesa Boogie at this time. So there are no plans at all for me to get one of those amps. And it's also not an amplifier that I'm looking to purchase or anything like that, because Mesa Boogie amps aren't very affordable. I have three. I have my dual rectifier. I have the Mark 535, and I have the mini rectifier. And for now, that's enough. It's a lot of money for an amplifier, but they seem really cool. I mean, I would definitely be open to it if Mesa would send me one, of course, but I don't see that happening right now. Lando, favorite non-metal genre? Oh, wow. I don't know about genres, but I like a lot of rock bands. I'm a John Mayer fan. I really love John Mayer. I've seen him live a bunch of times, like 7, 8 times or something. Love him. I'm a huge Oasis fan as well, stuff like that, and rock like Foo Fighters, and there's a lot of non-metal bands that I like to listen to. Kinslaya, hey John, what's the Dutch version of Toman? It's just the German version, toman.de. Chris Getman, still waiting for some Digitech XP100 corn riffage. Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to check out the new record hopefully tomorrow. It only has 8 tracks, though. I hope the tracks are long. My Mirtorp, happy birthday. Thank you. Any opinions of Charvel guitars, if you have played one? I haven't played one in years. I don't really have an opinion. They look cool. But I don't know. I'm not the best person to answer that question, unfortunately. Let's see. Xander Wild, you do a great job or marrying bass tone with guitar. What do you usually use for bass? I use Helix Native for basically all my bass tones, and my Sire V7 Pro, I believe, which is sort of a jazz bass, a 5-string jazz bass on the middle position, so with both pickups blended. And I use one of the Ampeg SVT amp models with all of the switches on except for the low thing. So not the super low lows, but the more low MIDI lows, if that makes sense. And then a pretty bright tone, because brightness can really help to make a bass guitar cut through the guitars. Yeah, there's no magic involved, really. It's just a cool bass amp model, some compression in front of the amp, and yeah, there you go. JP Beaufets, which tubes are you using in your OR15? Your demo made me keeping my amp as I was nearly ready to sell it, feeling it lacking depth and being quite fuzzy compared to my Marshall and Peavey. Just the stock tubes. It's a little bit fuzzy. I mean, yeah, it's a 15-watt EL84 amplifier, so it's not one of those amps that you can crank up super loud, unlike your Marshalls. And of course, the orange sound is a bit fuzzy by default, so maybe it's just not your thing. Whew. Sorry about my yawns, guys. I got kids. That's my excuse. Giovanni Hernandez, thanks for your insight. Regarding the Helix, what IRs would you recommend the most? Currently using Ownhammer Orange IRs. Well, Ownhammer is great, of course, no doubt about it. I currently use the York Audio stuff, and whenever I want an orange tone, I just grab the orange 4x12 et voila. But yeah, man, Ownhammer is also great, of course, obviously. Let's see. The Metal Foundry, awesome. Those are my favorite albums as well. Hell yeah, brother. Daniel Adler, active versus passive noise-wise. I don't know. Usually I have a noise gate on anyway in my XFX, and I usually don't listen to the noise of my guitars. May sound a little bit stupid, but so I don't really have a good a clear image of how that compares. So I don't know. People say that active pickups tend to have a low noise. So yeah. Norman Waller, what's your opinion on Red 7 amps? They seem really cool. They seem really cool, and we might see one on the channel sometime soon. Could take a little while, but there will probably be one in the studio in a little while, and it's going to be epic. Stay tuned. Armand Wijskamp, is your Rockerverb your favorite orange? I think so. Yeah, I think so. It's a great amplifier. I love all my orange amps for various reasons, but the Rockerverb is very hard to beat. Yes, it's awesome. Let's see. The Seymour Duncan distortion has a deep mid cut. I see. Interesting. Interesting. Usually when I put in Duncans in a guitar, I expect nice mids, you know, nice cutting mids. So I don't know how I would feel about a very scooped Seymour Duncan pickup. I don't know. When I think of Seymour Duncan pickups, I think of definition, basically. Thanks for all the happy birthday wishes, guys. Really appreciate it. Juan Pablo, do you like the burst buckers in your Les Paul Standard, or maybe you want to upgrade them? Well, I talked about this earlier in the live stream, but I'm going to talk about it again. So the one thing that I didn't really like about this guitar stock were the pickups. The burst bucker 61s weren't for me at all. So I changed these to Seymour Duncans. So I've got a 59 and a JB in here, and now it sounds killer. It sounds classic Les Paul, basically. So to answer your question, I'm not a fan of those burst bucker 61s at all. Not for me. Mr. Coatsworth says, well, 36,000 subscribers for your 36th birthday. That would be great. If anyone is watching right now, and if you're not subscribed, please do so, because it would be great for me to reach 36,000 subscribers on my 36th birthday. Two people just unsubscribed. So I need 22 more subscribers right now to reach that goal. I don't know if I'm going to reach that goal right now. Anyway, if you're not subscribed yet, please do so now. It would help me out hugely. All right, let's continue. Seth B, being that you have such a great amp collection, thank you. Do you ever have people send you the iTracks for reamping? Yes, of course. Sometimes I just do reamps. You can always contact me for that. And sometimes I do that alongside an entire mix. So they send me, the drums, the bass, the vocals, and then also the iTracks for me to reamp. So yeah, I do that all the time. Sure. Janus, do you have your favorite pickups and why? I don't really have a favorite set of pickups because I don't know, because a lot of guitars that I have different types of pickups. EMGs, Seymour Duncans, Let's see, Fishman's. I have an 8-string with the Lundgrens, and those all sound great. So there isn't like one favorite pickup for me or something. So yeah, I don't know. I like a lot of pickups, and I like them for various reasons and for various purposes. I like the fact that all my guitars have different pickups in them, because then they all do something differently, you know. Booba GRX, happy birthday! Thank you. This was also my mom's birthday. I'm so sorry if she passed. I'm so sorry about that. Sorry to hear about that. But congratulations with her birthday. Yeah, I hope she's still with us. That would be sad, man. But thanks for the comment. Leon Cominato, you're doing some great work here. Great content, and one of my favorite rock players on YouTube. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. I can't pronounce anything Russian or whatever that is, but he or she asks, what do you think of the Engel Iron Ball SE? Is it good for metal? Hell yeah, it's good for metal. I would recommend watching my in-depth review and demo, because I test the amplifier with various guitars and some metal tones as well. I think it's excellent for metal. Definitely check out my review video. Just Timo, happy birthday, man. Thank you. Great channel. I'm not really that much into gear stuff, but I keep coming back because of your awesome demo songs. Thank you. That really means a lot, because at this point in time, for the past couple of years, ever since I started this channel, this is my musical output. There is no bands, no real projects and stuff. I do have a project coming up, a little studio project with a couple of friends of mine, and that's really gonna kick ass. It's really gonna kick ass. Like, the vocalist is very talented and the drummer is great as well. And I think you guys are really gonna like that stuff. Anyway, but yeah, so it really means a lot to me when you guys say stuff like that, because, you know, music means a lot to me, and I really like making music. And sometimes the gear sort of overshadows the music. So it's nice to hear that people enjoy the music as well. I really appreciate it. All right, Johnny M, you need to check out the PV Classic 20MH. I just picked one up and I love it. Awesome crunch amp with a fantastic clean channel. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I'd really love that one as well. It's on my wish list for sure. It seems like a very nice clean amp with a very cool crunch tone as well. Hey, Marcel. Goedemiddag. And thanks for your comment. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, dudes. Keep the questions coming. I've got a little bit more time to hang out with you guys. I'd love to answer your questions. Let's continue. Floopty-doo. I love your name. Happy birthday. Your thoughts on tube versus solid state rectifiers and plexis? Wow, that's an advanced question that I do not know the answer to. I only have two plexis, basically. Plexis, the 20-watt SV20H and the Wong's 1987, and I have no idea if those have a tube rectifier or a solid state rectifier, so I can't comment on that at all. I'm very sorry. The only amp that I have in my collection that I've sort of experimented with that is my dual rectifier, which is back there somewhere. And the solid state rectifiers do give it a more direct, punchy, and in-your-face sound with less compression. I imagine that that's pretty much the same with a plexi. Let's see. Kinslaya, what's your opinion on distortion for bass, like using a really feisty grind? It can be great. Distortion on bass can be great, but you just gotta be careful that it's not a pedal that cuts the low end, because of course you want to retain your low end on a bass guitar. So what I do for my recordings is usually make a type of blend in Helix Native, I have an amp bag amplifier, and then I have a drive block that goes in parallel with the amplifier just to add some grit. And then I either send them to the same cabinet or to a different cab. There's various methods, but distortion on bass can be great. Just got to be careful not to add too much gain to retain the definition of the notes and the pick attack. And you got to make sure that the low end stays intact, because a lot of pedals like these and these, they cut your low end by default. I can show you how that looks on the equalizer. For example, a tube screamer would look something like this along these lines, depending on where you set the tone. So it's cutting the low end and boosting some mids, right? And usually also cutting some top end as well. So this would be a good starting point for a tube screamer like EQ Curve, something along those lines. And if you're putting that on a bass guitar, you're basically removing a lot of low end, which is not what you want, right? So be careful with that on your bass guitar. All right, great question. Serhat Sevinch encouraged me to buy a torpedo captor. Best decision in my life. Great. Enjoy. That's a great device. Yeah, it's a very powerful device. That's for sure. A very cool load box. Kevin C. Will you consider using AMP to access the evaluation video recorded outside the real cab in the future? I'm not sure I understand your question. Will you consider using AMP to access the evaluation video recorded? I'm very sorry, but I don't understand your question. I'm sorry. If you mean if I'll use real cabs in the future, the answer is no, because great IRs sound exactly the same as a real recorded cabinet. That's just my thing. That's what really works for me. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I have such a big collection of amplifiers and why I went that route. Because it was very easy to me to use a proper load box and good IRs with my amplifiers. And that enabled me to really use my amplifiers whenever I use, in whatever way I use, without any restrictions, basically. And, you can just slap a good old IR on there and boom, it sounds great. And believe me, I've heard and seen plenty of comparison tests between a real amplifier with a real cabinet and a real mic and a modeler and or a real amplifier with an IR. And trust me, it sounds exactly the same. I mean, if you do it properly, there's no difference at all. Humans cannot hear the difference. That's just my opinion. But I'm not sure if that was your question. Sorry if that was not your question. GF, appreciate your work. Thank you so much. Chris123, what about the Dover amp or Dover valve pedal? They seem like a very cool brand, like a boutique brand from England, I believe. I've never really heard any amp demos of their amps, and I've never tried one, but they look really great. I'm always open to trying stuff, but I don't have any opinions on their amplifiers. I saw Led Zeppelin 121007. You saw Led Zeppelin? Dude, that's epic. If that's really true, I'm so jealous. You mean in the O2 Arena, maybe? That'd be so awesome. Let me know in the chat if you really saw Led Zeppelin. I only saw John Paul Jones play with this singer-songwriter guy with the beard, with the weird guitars, the country guy. I saw him play on a festival. I've never seen Jimmy Page in real life. I've never seen Robert Plant in real life, but must be so cool to see Led Zeppelin in real life. Have you been able to try a Mesa Boogie Stiletto? I have not. If you haven't, you should definitely try to find one. Yeah, they seem really cool. I'd love to try one. I'm not really in the market for a new amplifier right now, though, because there aren't a lot of monies around here. This is my this is my bank, There's not a lot of money on my bank account. Juanito HM, happy birthday. Thank you. You're the reference in amp testing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the encouragement. Thanks. Let me check my subscriber count, guys. Let me check if you guys are subscribing here. 2 new subscribers, so I'm back to 35,980. All right, guys, so I need 20 more subscribers to reach 30,000 subscribers. It's my 36th birthday right now. As I said that, I was looking up to how many people there were live, and there were 36 live at that exact second when I said that number, which is also kind of freaky. So if you're not subscribed to the channel just yet, please do so now, because it might help me reach my goal of 36,000 subscribers. That would be great. Diego Cortez Rodriguez, happy birthday, man. Thank you. Love the content. Your riffing is always tasty. Thank you. What do you think of the Marshall JVM for low tunings like G sharp, standard, 7-string? Dude, the JVM 410H is the Marshall to get for lower tunings. It's the most high gain, the most modern, and the most tight sounding Marshall by far that I've tried anyway. The OD1 and especially the OD2 channels are very tight. They have way too much gain. I mean, you really got to be careful with the gain control, especially on the red modes. Set it to a quarter and you're good, basically. A quarter. If you turn it up more, there will be way too much gain. But the JVM is a really great amplifier for 6 strings, 7 string, 8 strings, whatever you throw at it, basically. It's the best Marshall to get for high gain, tight and aggressive tones, for sure. And as a bonus, it also comes with great clean and crunch tones. So, man, the JVM is really a very cool Marshall amplifier. And they're not really expensive, too. So that's also a great plus, I'd say. Marcel, MJ Lagerwerf, top 3 non-V30 speaker. Let me stick to the York Audio stuff then. The M65 Creamback, that's such a great speaker for angle amplifiers, for example. The DV77, also in the York cabinet, is great for with a little bit rounder top end and you know, nice healthy amount of mids. And greenbacks for more classic tones. So those are basically my favorite non-V30 speakers. Hey, and MJ, tell us, did you buy a Marshall yet? MJ Lagerwerf, he wants a Marshall, and I'm trying to convince him to get a Marshall. He should. Just Timo, since you mentioned that you do other mixing stuff for others, do you have an official website or something besides Facebook? If you want to contact me, just send me a message either on my Gmail, which is johnsimonsmusic@gmail.com, Simons with a Greek Y, or an instant message on Instagram. If you send me an instant message on Facebook, I might not read it for a little while because I never get notifications on my Facebook page for my Facebook account for some reason. Only the personal messages on my personal Facebook, but not of the business page for some reason. I don't know why. Hey, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's my birthday. Yay! 36 years old. I feel old. I'm here to chat. I'm here to answer your questions. Keep the questions coming. Let's hang for a little while. Hey, Circle of Tone. Hey, man. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Juravi, by coincidence, I'm getting a JB fitted into my Les Paul tomorrow. Awesome. Also bought some caps for the volume pot if the high mids get too raunchy. What pot values did you go with? Okay, I checked the pot values, actually, also with a multimeter, and they're just 500K. Also in my Eclipse, all the guitars that I have that have JBs in them have 500K pots, and they're just fine. The JB in my Les Paul doesn't sound ice picky at all. It sounds fine. Sometimes people are very dramatic about things. Oh, the JB sounds so harsh, so ice picky. It sounds like a great humbucker pickup. I don't get the problem. I wouldn't worry about it at all. But that's just my opinion based on my personal experience. Disclaimer. Poder 15. Happy birthday. Thank you. Does the IRS you use, the IRs that I use, do they sound better on headphones or through studio monitors? I hardly ever play with headphones, to be honest. It's not something that I enjoy, so I can't really comment on that. They sound fine whenever I use headphones. They sound fine. They sound as they are. They sound as they should, but I usually use studio monitors, and that always sounds great. CAXN Media, happy birthday. Thank you. You have the best tones on YouTube for hard rock and metal. Thank you so much. How would you describe the tone quality difference between the Fractal X-Load and the Red 7 Amp Central? Is it worth upgrading? Well, the upgrade was worth it for me because I was using the Fractal X-Load for such a long time, and I needed another option, something a little bit more fresh. And when I compared the two directly, the Fractal still sounded great. It's a great load. The Fractal is a great load, but the Red 7 sounded a little bit more smooth, a little bit less harsh, and slightly more dynamic for some reason. It's really hard to put into words. I might do a comparison video on those if you guys are interested. But you also have to keep in mind that the Red 7 Amp Central load box has a lot more options, like a stereo effects loop, a line out control that does not affect the tone, because my Fractal, while the LB2 is great, the huge level, let's see, yeah, the DI level potentiometer has an effect on the tone. So if you want to lower the level on that control, the tone gets darker. So you have to crank it up pretty high to get a more neutral tone. And the DI level control on the Red 7 is neutral, so it doesn't affect the tone. And of course, you can load IRs into the Red 7 and stuff like that. So it also depends on what features you're looking for. If you're just looking for a very solid load box that gets the job done for loading down your amplifier, period, both of them are great. But I just use the Red 7 exclusively these days because I'm having a lot of fun with that thing, and it sounds great with all my amplifiers, basically. Victor, congratulations on your birthday. Thank you. Wishing you a truly fabulous day. I really appreciate it. Thanks. Tonefish. Tonefish. I bet your amplifiers smell great. Suggest a versatile cabinet for 70s, 80s rock styles. A real cabinet or an IR? Woo! For those types of tones, I usually, in my IR virtual world, usually go with a Marshall cabinet with greenbacks. It always works. Sometimes V30s, of course, but for old school stuff, greenbacks in a Marshall, you can't go wrong with that. Mick Houston, your channel is fantastic. I play at home, bedroom volumes. You don't have that issue, but would you recommend one of the tube heads that might sound good at low levels without an attenuator? Yeah, there are a bunch of amps in my collection that are great for that. One of them that comes to mind is the orange Rocker 15 Terror. I don't know if you can see it. It's either down here or up here. It's right there. That's a great amplifier for very low levels. It also has the headroom bedroom switch on the back, which is great. Yeah, a lot of my amps are great at lower levels. The Mini Jubilee, a bunch of the big heads like the JVM, great at lower levels. The little PV, the 6505 MA, really depends on your genre as well. So let me know what kind of amplifier, what kind of style you're looking at, because the angles sound also great at lower levels. So many great options out there these days using Kettner, Some of them need a good level to sound good, but a lot of these amps sound great at lower levels. Sure. Let me know what sort of tone you're looking for, Mick. That would help to give me a better answer, basically. Mango Meow. Mango Meow. Awesome. Hi, Sonograph Studio. You're awesome and happy birthday. Thank you so much. Hi, chat. You're all cute. My question is, can you play tube amps through a cab without an attenuator? I keep hearing mixed responses, but I think no. Can you play tube amps through a cab without an attenuator? Sure you can. Sure you can. It might get loud. A lot of amps these days have attenuation features, like half wattage control, or like the Laney one over here has an attenuator control, just as the orange rock reverb over here. And that can really help to lower the level a bit. But sure, I mean, if that's your thing, I really almost never do it because I just never want to get, you know, I mean, I can get to lower levels as I was just talking about, but I have so much more control over my levels with my studio monitors and IRs that for me that just works so much better. But of course, I mean, who's stopping you to play through a real cabinet and your tube amplifier? Go for it. Thanks for all the birthday wishes again, guys. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Grover Diamond, have you tried the Synergy 5050 power amp? I like the one rack unit size, but I'm concerned it won't have that low bottom end with the smaller transistors. I have never tried the Synergy stuff before, but I'd love to. I'd love to. I don't have any opinion on that. Let me check the subscriber count again. Is it still hanging? Are you guys subscribing? Let me check. It's still stuck at 35,000 and 980. Come on, guys! If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. I would hugely appreciate it. All right, let's continue. Daniel Hidalgo, happy birthday! Happy birthday! Can you tell me the main sonic difference between the PV Invective 120 and the Victory Super Kraken, since their gain structure is roughly based on the 5150? I haven't compared them directly. The PV Invective obviously sounds like a 6505-ish amplifier. It's sort of smooth sounding. I mean, you can get it to sound pretty edgy and stuff, but it does not have those really aggressive, snarly mids like an Angle, for example. It's somewhat smooth and somewhat polite, which makes it friendly for a lot of different guitars and a lot of different settings. The Victory Super Kraken has a really big, ballsy sound with a lot of lows and a lot of thick mids, and does that really effortlessly. And the Invective takes a little time to get dialed in. I need to do some comparisons soon because that's a great question. There are so many amps that I want to compare on the channel. I mean, I want to compare the Victory to my EVH. I want to compare the Victory to the Invective right now because that's a great idea. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. At this moment, I'm just really a big fan of the Victory because of the big and ballsy sound and the huge mids. It just sounds so broad and big, you know? And sometimes when I use the Invective, it takes a little bit more time to get it dialed in. And sometimes it sounds a little bit too polite. Sometimes, not always. And then I grab my Angle Fireball, and then it's like, boom, there we go. There's the aggression and the edge that I was looking for. So like this Angle Fireball 100 is one of those amps that almost always works so well, especially for heavy music. But yeah, Daniel, thanks for putting the suggestion in my head to compare these two. Misha versus Rabia, right? That's a cool comparison right there. Great idea. Yeah. And they both have a boost built in as well. So that's also cool. That's also interesting to compare them with and without the boost. That's a great idea as well. Thanks. Axe Slinger, I watch your channel quite a bit. Thank you. Awesome. Your gear reviews are very thorough and well thought out. Keep your channel going. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Mike Holliman, what's your favorite halved cab setup? I'm just going to drink a cold sip of tea because of all the talking. My throat's getting a bit dry. Lovely cold green tea. Oh, I should have brought more beverages. I can't stop talking. What's your favorite head cab setup? Oh man, there's no favorites. I mean, I love them all. I love all of these amplifiers. Otherwise, they would not be here. I don't want amplifiers in my studio that I don't like, and I like them all for various purposes. So I don't really have any favorites, and I don't have to have any favorites. Having said that, there are a couple of amps in my collection that are just ridiculous. As I said earlier in the chat, the Angle Fireball is one of them. Great amplifier for metal and rock. You know, the Friedman Double J Jr. is great for that hot rodded Marshall rock tone. The Orange Rockerverb 50 is amazing for that big orange Rockerverb rock tone that we all love, I assume. The Rectifier is great for that classic rectifier sound that I'm a huge fan of. I mean, I could carry on. All these amplifiers have something great to offer, you know, for various genres. They all sound great and unique, and I don't want to pick a favorite. Green Udav, hello. If you have the opportunity to try the AMT Stonehead amplifier, I've never heard of that. Shall I look it up? Let me look it up. AMT Stonehead. Oh, that's like isn't that like a little pedal amplifier or something? Interesting. Oh, wow. That looks really weird. That's a weird looking amplifier. What is that? I've never heard of that. It looks crazy. It looks crazy. It's not really expensive too. Is it a high gain amp or what? That's a really interesting looking amplifier. I can't show you guys, but definitely look that up. The AMT Stonehead amplifier. I've never heard of that. I'm up for trying anything. Yeah, but I've never heard of that amplifier. Very interesting. Guy who does stuff, been playing my headless guitar, and I noticed sometimes that the intonation will be out of tune and then back in tune. Do you think it's the temperature in my room? It's an Ibanez QX527PB. Could very well be. Yeah, I also sometimes notice that those temperature fluctuations can affect the tuning. Also, you got to just make sure that you really stretch your strings. That's really important. Just keep stretching them until the guitar does not go out of tune anymore, and it should be much more stable. But those Ibanez guitars have very thin necks, and those are more susceptible to temperature changes. So maybe, you know, put in your heating sometimes to make up for the cold and keep it a little bit more even. That works for me. I saw Led Zeppelin. It was true. I saw Led Zeppelin at the O2. Oh, that's so awesome. My buddy and I scored a win with a lottery code to get tickets. Oh, that's so cool. Oh man, you saw Led Zeppelin. I'm so jealous. I saw that Blu-ray a couple of times. I really enjoyed it. I saw it in cinemas too. Wow, good for you, man. I'm jealous. Oh, you saw Led Zeppelin. Damn, bro. That's so cool. Led Zeppelin is such a cool band. I love them. I love them a lot. I love them a lot. Hey, guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to release my review and demo video of this 30-inch scale 9-string Schecter. I'm using my Victory Super Kraken in that video, and I'm also using my Angle Fireball 100 and also Helix Native for some tones. It's going to be a very exciting video. Even if you don't like 9 strings, I would highly recommend checking that video out tomorrow. So keep your eyes open for that. Quick plug there. I'm going to continue with your questions. King Lord, you have to choose one amp for metal. What amp do you choose? I do not have to choose. And I'm not gonna. I have so many amps that are great for metal. I don't want to choose one. Don't let me choose. Let's see. Richard Knoll. Happy birthday, John. Thank you. Thanks for all you do, us gearheads. Thank you so much for your comment. Happy birthday, Yuzma75. Great content, super informative and also entertaining. Awesome. Thank you. Green Urav, happy birthday. Don't get sick. I don't intend to get sick anytime soon, but it's spreading like wildfire, in our kids' schools and stuff. It's a bit, it's coming closer. It's, it's pretty much unavoidable right now to get COVID, but we'll see. We'll see. For now, I feel great. I feel healthy. MJ Lagerworth. Okay, Marcel, I was talking about that he really needs to get a Marshall, and he said, no, I still haven't bought a JVM. I need a proper bass, but after that, I will get it. I'm going to remember. You know it. Marcel is a great guy. He bought my old Angle Iron Ball, the regular version, when I got the SE version. Poder 14. I'm basically in a rabbit hole with the IRs and amp settings. Same settings sound different for me the next day and the day after that. Do you feel the same? Not really. Not really, but that can happen, of course. That can happen, especially when your ears get very adjusted to something, when you're playing hours and hours, and then you take a rest and your ears sort of reboot the next day, and then, yeah, there's a chance that it might sound different. But for me, for some reason, I have a lot of control over my sounds, and I really find it easy, I guess, relatively easy to get the tone that I want with the tools that I have. So it's not really a problem that occurs often for me for some reason. Colin Crotha. Happy birthday, dude. Thank you. Found out about your channel from the Orange Facebook group. Awesome. You helped me decide on a dual terror. That's such a cool amplifier. Enjoy your dual terror, Colin, and thanks for tuning in. Suomi, if a humbucker sounds too harsh, lower it can help, though. Yes, of course. Yes. Steph Curran, happy birthday. Just wanted to ask, what 2x12 would you recommend for a Marshall DSL 100 HR? Kind of hesitant towards V30s. Think of maybe going for a Laney with custom HH speakers. I can't comment on HH speakers at all, but the Laney cabinets seem to be great. I'm a V30 fan. I mean, V30s sound great to me. If you want a bit of a warmer, darker sound, maybe check out the DV77 speakers. Those are quite popular right now, and they have a bit more of a rounded off top end, a bit less harsh, so to speak. But my Orange 2x12 over here does sound great. It sounds huge, and my Engel 2x12 also sounds great. Yeah, there are a lot of great options out there. The Metal Foundry says, was nice hanging here with you, John. Nice hanging with you too. I've got some work to do. Good luck with your work. Thanks for the comments. Really appreciate it. Alejandro Gutierrez. Happy birthday, John. Thank you. When you are going to release an album, all those tasty riffs are awesome. I touched on this before in the live stream, but I've got this new project with a very talented singer. He's great at screaming as well, and a very cool drummer. And I basically play guitar and bass, and I mix the whole thing as well. And we're going to release a couple of songs soon, hopefully within a couple of months. And I think that you guys are really going to dig that stuff. It's really going to be very cool. I really can't wait to show you guys what we have in store. It's basically a small studio project. We're not going to play on stage or anything like that. Not that that's even an option around here these days, but it's going to be a studio thing for hopefully all of you to enjoy on the interwebs. But thank you for your comment. Daniel Hidalgo, maybe we will see a PV Invective 120 versus Super Kraken comparison video. Yep, that would be great. That would be great. Good idea. Thanks for all the comments, guys, on my birthday. Mike Holliman, are the new Les Paul standard pickups decent for metal and 80s hard rock? I have talked about this earlier in the stream, but for me, nah. I mean, I did not even like the sound of them with clean tones. They were just a little bit weak and too vintage sounding for me, which is not something that I'm used to with Gibson Les Pauls. I've had a bunch of classics over the years with various types of pickups, and I played a bunch of standards with the other Burstbucker pickups, and those were fine. But the Burstbucker 61s were not doing it for me at all. So that's why I changed them to Seymour Duncan's JB and a 59. But that's just my opinion. Tyler Britton, would you ever get a Bogner Fish preamp? Who knows? I mean, I have never looked at those. They seem to be great. I know that Jerry Cantrell used those, right, for his Alice in Chains music. Could be cool. Could be cool. I don't know. No immediate plans whatsoever to. I don't have any budget for amps. I know it's hard to believe, guys, but I'm not going to buy any amps anytime soon. Let's see. Daniel, can you recommend a good versatile mini head, bedroom recording lunchbox amp with a nice clean and distortion channel? Ha, great question. However, is it for rock? Is it for metal? And that's the question. Let me know, because I mean, for metal and heavy rock and great cleans, the Engel Fireball 100 is pretty hard to beat, you know, and it's pretty versatile. The Hughes and Kettner stuff is great as well. The Tubemeister or the Grandmeister Deluxe, that has all the options you would ever want, the Grandmeister especially. If you're into orange, check out the Rocker 15 Terror, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great options out there, to be honest. And for a more modern metal tone, you could also check out the Invective MH, or the MT15. It depends on your style. It depends on your personal tonal preference. Let's continue. CS, happy birthday. What's your honest feelings about the RD100? Thinking about getting one, the Randall Diablo 100. That's a really cool amplifier. It really is a metal amplifier in the way it's voiced. It sounds very clear and tight. It's not a super bright amplifier. It's a little bit dark, actually, so you really have to crank the presence to open it up a little bit. But funnily enough, it's not a super high-gain amplifier. It's kind of a mid-gain amplifier, actually. Check out my demo and review to hear what I'm talking about. But yeah, it has a very interesting and kind of aggressive tone that I do really enjoy. It's a unique amp, though. You really have to dig that sound. But I think if you're like tight and aggressive, sort of dark metal tones, it could be for you. But definitely check out my demo. Jason Richardson. You're not the Jason Richardson, right? Happy birthday, John. You're one of my favorite gear reviewing channels besides Ola Englund. You always make a great and amazing tones. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy to hear that. Wesley A, happy birthday. Just subscribed a few days ago. Enjoy your videos, and I'm learning about IRs and amps of your channel. Great. Awesome. Let me know in my comment sections whenever you got any questions. It might spark an idea for a video. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for the sub. The Metal GBG. Have you tried the EVH 100 with EL34s? I have not. I tried the 100 6L6 amplifier years ago, and that was a great sounding amplifier. The 6L6 50-watt amplifier still is on my wish list, but I have not tried the 100-watt EL34 version. By the way, guys, I have 4 new subscribers. Thank you so much. That means that we've got 16 more subscribers to go to reach the goal of 36,000 subscribers on my 36th birthday. That would be cool, wouldn't it? So if you're not subscribed yet, please do so now for more exclusive and fun content on Sonic Drive Studio. That would be great. But thanks for the new subscribes, guys. Really appreciate it. Camille Anamik, happy birthday, man. Loving your content. Do you think it's possible to have the clean channel on the PV Invective MH sound reasonably clean at higher volumes in, let's say, a band context? EL34 amps with 2 EL34s in the power section. I mean, that clean channel is pretty clean. It's like a really clean channel. So for an EL84 amplifier of 20 watts, I guess it's pretty loud, but if it's loud enough for a band, I haven't tried that personally. So it's really hard to say. Usually 15 or 20 watt amplifiers really tend to get to their limit at a band level, especially with a loud drummer. So it's really hard to say, to be honest. So it's not easy for me to give you the perfect answer right now. Sorry. But thanks for your question. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and thanks for your comments. That guy, how do you manage to get so many amps and cabs? It's all about priorities. Some people have a wonderful car. Some people have multiple cars. Some people drink a lot of alcohol. Some people have a jet ski. Some people have airplanes. Some people have collections of whatever you can think of. I have a lot of amplifiers. I don't have a lot of different hobbies and stuff like that. So that's just my priority, you know? That's where basically all my money goes. That's how you do that stuff. Nick Hill, brother! Thanks for the super chat. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you so much, man. It means a lot to me. You guys know Nick Hill, right? If you're not aware of who he is, you got to check out his channel because he's such a talented YouTuber with great videos on guitar tones, mainly metal tones, very well produced. Definitely check out his channel. And Nick, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. It's very nice of you. Very kind of you. And you guys got to promise me to check out his channel, okay? Nick Hill. Dude, he's awesome. Okay, I'm going to stick around for a half hour maximum. So if you have any questions, drop them now because I've only got about 30 minutes and then I'm going to spend some time with my family. Daniel Hidalgo, recommendations for an expensive reactive load attenuator. Don't forget the Misha Mansour versus Rabia Massad tone war video. Yeah. Inexpensive reactive load. I would say save up and get a proper one. That would be better. If you want one with a lot of features, with all the effects and options, you could get the Capture X. If you want one with a better response by default, get the Red 7 Amp Central. That's my advice. I prefer the Red 7, but the Capture X works for a lot of people, and it has some very great features like the Bluetooth control and the reverb and all the stuff that makes it a very versatile device. And that guy says, I love your gear reviews, but my favorite thing about your channel is all the original compositions that you make. Thank you. How long have you been producing your own music? Oh, I really appreciate that question. I mean, I've been writing my own music since whenever I was a teenager, I guess. But let's say 15 years ago or so, 15-year-ish ago, maybe like 15, 14 or 16 years ago, I really started to take the whole recording and producing thing more seriously. So I started to, mix my programmed drums, and I started to mix my recordings and all that stuff and get into mixing and plugins. And so about 15 years ago or so, I really started to get serious with that whole thing. So yeah, I guess around 15 years or so. And before that, I did record myself, but back then I wasn't really into the whole mixing thing just yet. I was really focused more on just getting the music down. And around 2007 or so, I really started to get interested in making it sound good, So yeah. Drachfacher Klingelstander says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. David and guitars, show your Les Paul Custom Ebony and say the things you like of it. Okay. Oh man, are you guys sure you can handle this? Oh man, it's my Gibson Les Paul Custom. It still smells really nice. This guitar is, I love this guitar. I did a review and demo on this guitar recently. I had to sell my PRS SC58 and one of my original whammy pedals to be able to afford this thing because it was really expensive. But it's a dream guitar. And I used to have one back in 2008 that I later sold, which I regretted because this is really a dream guitar. And there's nothing that I don't love about it. I love everything about this thing. It plays well. It looks amazing. It sounds great. The pickups are great. I guess if there's one thing that wasn't ideal about this guitar is that it's a little bit noisy. It's not really properly shielded, and I think they do that for, the reason to keep it original or something, I guess. When you don't touch the metal, there's a bit of a buzz, which also happens with my other Les Paul. But this one has a bit more of that, but it's not a biggie. I love everything about this guitar, and I made an in-depth review and demo of this recently. Do check it out. It's a very fun video with some cool amplifiers in it as well. But yeah, this is my. I'm very, very happy to have this thing. Finally, it took months and months to get it because it took a long time for me to sell the PRS and stuff. But I'm very, very pleased with this guitar. Obviously, if I weren't, I would have sent it back. But I love it. I love everything about it. Drachfacher Klingelstander. Have you ever played the old Angle Savage 60? I have not, but I would love to. Thing is, I really love the Fireball, Powerball Angles because they have a bit more of a fat sound, and I know that the Savage amplifiers sound very tight and aggressive by default. It's not that these don't sound tight, but they have a bit more wiggle room to shape your tone, I think. But I love Angle amplifiers, and I love to try all the Angle amplifiers in the world. The Powerball 2 is high on my wish list. Daniel says, my dad saw Led Zeppelin back in the day in Germany in a big circus tent. Dude, that's so awesome. That would be great to see Led Zeppelin live. Hell yeah. David in Guitars, please make more videos of cool tones with the Helix. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. I will. Félicien Burkard, happy birthday. Love your channel. How would you describe the difference between the big and the small Fireball? I should make a video on that as well. Well, the big one has more headroom, obviously. The big one also has more gain. So if you set the gain control on the lead channel to about 10 o'clock, that's the same as putting it at around 1 o'clock on the small one. So maybe that's because they used one tube less on the little one or something. I don't know. The big one also has a bright and low end or bass switch or something for a bigger low end and a bit more chime on the top end, especially for the clean tones. But I should compare them directly in the channel. That would be a cool video. It's just I have so many videos that I want to make that it's going to take me a little while to make all the videos that I want to make, which is a good thing because I intend to do this for quite a long time. But stay tuned for a comparison on those two amplifiers, the Angle Fireball 25 and 100. You can't go wrong with either of them. They are so amazing. Such amazing amplifiers. Thanks for the question. And let me check my subscriber count for a sec. Let me see if we're gonna 14 more subscribers to go until I reach 36,000. 36,000 subscribers. That would be great. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet and you're watching this right now, please make a birthday boy happy and subscribe. That would mean the world to me. Okay, let me continue. Daniel, I was thinking about putting two Eminence Swamp Thangs into my JCM 800 bass 1935 guitar cab. It's now loaded with 4 Celestion G12 T75 UK made from 1987. Do you know the Swamp Thangs? I do not. Any recommendations for speakers that mix well with the G12 T75 UK made? I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with those T75s. Every time I try them, I'm like, I know that a lot of people swear by them, but they're just not for me for some reason. I don't know. Benjamin Maassen. Hi. Paul Schecter. Thoughts on the Amp 1 by Iridium? Amp 1 Iridium. I've never tried one. I'd love to. I've heard great things about them. So hopefully we can get one on the channel one day. That would be great. That's the metal version, right? With the high gain stuff. Yeah, seems like a cool amp. Floop-de-doo, thoughts on kit amps? Ever play or build one? How do they stack up against the real deal? I have no idea what you mean with a kit amp. You mean that you order them and then put them together by yourself? No clue, dude. I've just learned how to solder a couple days ago. I'm not going to build any amplifiers anytime soon. But I don't know. I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, it could be very cool to build your own amplifier. The one guy, this is a cool angle on your studio space. Helps to put your videos into context. Cool. Yeah, it's not as big as it looks, perhaps, on camera. Like, here are my guitars, and back here is my desk, my work desk, where I work on my guitars, work on my frets and stuff like that. Got a bunch of guitars here. Yeah, so usually what you guys see is, my wall of amplifiers, because that's the most charming and interesting portion to look at, basically. Personal Freedom says, excellent video on blending amps. Is there a good device, utility pedal that you can recommend which allows you to blend 2 amps into one cabinet? I have no idea. Paul Schecter says, subbed. Thank you, Paul. You're going to help me to reach my goal, hopefully, of 36,000 subscribers. I got one more. 13 subscribers to go to reach my goal of 36,000 subscribers on my 36th birthday. How great would that be? I know I would be very thankful to you guys for helping me reach that goal today. But I don't know if that's going to happen, because I've got 20 more minutes before I got to go. So you guys got to help me out here, man. All right, let's continue. Oh, Nick, thanks again for the super chat. That was so kind of you. Nick is the best, guys. Nick Hill is the best. I like your amp shootout videos. Your mega amp shootout video gave me big inspiration. Awesome. Do you mean the 6.5 hour long? Oh, man. If you guys haven't seen that video, a year ago or so, probably, I know, maybe a year and a half ago or so, I released a video that was 6.5 hours long with 30-something amplifiers, clean, crunch, heavy. Whew, it was way too ambitious. If that video is just insane. If you're talking about that video, damn, bro. That was crazy. But thanks for watching the mega amp shootout. Thank you so much. Constantine M, nice to see you. Nice to see you too. Rodrigo Macado. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your names super correctly. I do my best. What do you do for a living? I touched on this before in the live stream, but basically what I do for a living is make my videos. But I also do mixing jobs. I'm currently mixing a band from France, a very fun band. I also do media jobs for companies sometimes, make videos or audio segments for companies like Stephen Slade Drums and stuff like that. But the main thing that I do is my YouTube channel, gear demos and stuff like that. And it's not like a super lucrative job. In fact, it's pretty hard to get a stable income out of it, but it's what I do, and it makes me very, very happy. The one guy says, subbed to Nick. Nice. Everybody go subscribe to Nick Hill's channel, because he's the greatest. Nick says, thanks, man. Dude, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you too. I've been playing with the York stuff lately, and I've been really loving them. Yeah, man, the York Audio IRs are really nice. Highly recommend them. Cool. Glad you're digging them. What cabinets are you digging, Nick? Let me know. Okay, guys, 15 minutes before I tune out. So if you got any questions, drop them now. And also, if you want to subscribe to the channel, do so right now, because, the goal that I want to reach. Let's see how far we are right now. Oh, dude. 11 more subscribers, and we've reached the goal of 36,000. That would be so cool. That would be a great birthday present for my 36th birthday. Keep them coming, guys. 11 more subscribers to go. I know you're out there. I know you're out there. I love you guys. I appreciate it. All right, I'm going to continue. Let's see. Mike Hollyman, what the heck is an IR? I'm old. If you want to know the answer to that question, just Google what is an impulse response. It's basically a simulation of a cabinet, a mic'd up speaker cabinet sound, but it's not. Simulation does not really do the term justice. It's more of a capture or a clone of the sound of a mic'd up guitar cabinet. That's basically how to put it. And you can put it in your computer or in your modeler or whatever, and it sounds great. Bobcat says, happy birthday. Got a new tattoo this weekend. Awesome. Can't wait for more content. Awesome. Thanks. I got a new video coming tomorrow about the Schecter 9-string. The Schecter. Guys, you got to see this thing. I showed this thing earlier in the live stream, but I doubt any of you were there. But check out this thing. It's a 30-inch scale Schecter 9-string. This thing is absolutely insane. It's the best 9-string that I've ever played. That's for sure. Oh man, I love this guitar so much. It's so inspiring to play and write music on. I'm going to release my review video on this tomorrow. And even if you're not into extended range guitars, definitely check it out because it's very interesting. And I also feature some very cool amps in that video as well. So I would really appreciate it if you guys checked out that video tomorrow. Yeah. Quick plug. All right. Let's see. Red 7 doesn't have any attenuation levels from what I hear. It's not an attenuator. It's a load box. So yeah. Let's see. H. Volkanov IV. My birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. I wish you a happy birthday. Thank you. What do you think about the Laney GH100R amp? I've never tried it, so I do not have an opinion. I do love my Ironheart amps, though. I think they are excellent, so I love Laney, and I also love their pedals. Let's see. We're getting close to the end. About 12 or 13 minutes to go. I'm going to try to answer all your questions in a quick fashion. Moscow Recording. Hello, a pickup question. Fishman passive mode versus passive pickup, any difference? Yeah, a little bit of a difference. The Fishman passive mode sounds a little bit more sterile and a bit more polite. And the passive pickups that I've compared it to are a little bit more edgy and dynamic. But it's a great option to have on those Fishman pickups. Okita Suiji. Hey man, do you think that a 2x12 would be a good match for the rock reverb, or better to spend the extra money on a 4x12? It depends on your budget, your personal preference, and your playing situation. If you're playing on stage often, then a 4x12 might be better. However, the 2x12 orange cabinets sound absolutely huge. They are so good. So maybe try a 2x12 first. All right, let's continue. I'm gonna get to your questions, guys. Camille says, "Thanks for the answer regarding the Invective MH Clean channel. So maybe to rephrase a bit, at which gain setting does it start cracking up?" I don't know. I don't know. Pretty late. It stays very clean. It just stays clean until the power tubes start to break up, basically. But it's a 20-watt EL84 amplifier, so just keep in mind that it won't be loud enough, maybe, for playing with a drummer. But I can't really comment on that directly because I've never tried that. Let's see. Oh, guys, thanks so much for the birthday wishes. Really appreciate it. Kong Yun Mei, any thoughts on SD1 versus TS9 as a boost? I haven't tried any TS9s ever, so I can't really comment on them. But if you compare a Super Overdrive to a Tube Screamer, this one has a bit more edge and a bit more snarl. This one just sounds a bit less polite, and this can sound pretty smooth. So this can be great to use with an amplifier that's already pretty aggressive sounding. And if you want your amplifier to sound more aggressive, then this is a great pedal. And it's also very affordable. But a TS9, I don't know, never tried one. Okay, 11 minutes to go. I'm going to do my best to answer all of your questions. Oh, it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do my best. Russell Kane, there are too many heads beside you. Why don't you give them to us with a giveaway? Haha. You would like that, wouldn't you? Let's see. Mesa 2x12 vertical versus horizontal cab, possibly a 4x12. Not sure which one to get. The Mesa Boogie Rectifier 2x12 cabinets, the large ones and not the more compact ones, sound absolutely huge, and they have a lot of low end. That might be good to know. Nick asks, dude, how's the Superior drummer stuff coming along? Also digging the York stuff. Yeah. I've been using it occasionally here and there, but I'm so used to the Steven Slade drums that it's just so easy for me to go back to that all the time when I'm creating music, you know. But I still want to use the Superior stuff more, but it's just a matter of having more time to incorporate that into my workflow, you know. It's appearing here and there in some videos already, but a lot of videos that I'm doing right now still have the Slade stuff because, yeah, it's a matter of time and having enough time, you know, to work on all those new drum mixes and stuff. But I mean, the Superior stuff is so good, obviously, but the Slade stuff also sounds so nice and it's so easy to work with. Daniel, what software do you use to edit your videos and music? Music, Cubase, videos, Cyberlink Power Director. Okay. Sadicus, thanks for your comment on my very old album that I made. I don't really sing that often anymore, but my new project will have a very talented singer on it, and I think you guys are going to love his voice. HJ Perez 1. I love from Puerto Rico. What's the difference between York Audio IRs and ML Sound Lab? I don't know. It's probably best to just compare them yourself and make up your own mind on that. It's such a personal subject. I like the York stuff because I just really like how it sounds. It sounds really realistic. It sounds really like a real mic'd up cabinet to me. And that's why I use the York stuff. Ben van Geest. Hey, Ben, what's up, dude? Ben is a nice guy, man, and he just bought an Ibanez M80M, so he's a very smart person as well with a great taste in guitars. Thanks for the birthday wish. Okay, guys, a couple minutes. Have we reached my subscriber goal yet? Let me check. 11 more to go. We're not going to make that in 7 minutes. If you guys are watching this right now and you're not subscribed, please drop a subscribe because it would be great to reach the goal of 36,000 subscribers on my 36th birthday. And that's the last time that I'm going to mention it because you guys might get crazy. But thanks so much for all the new subscribes, guys. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Thanks for all answering and helping out. My pleasure. Keep them great videos coming. All the best to you and your family. Be safe. Happy birthday, Grant. Thank you so much. Paul Schlachter says, orange 4x12 weighs about as much as an elephant. Wow, that's crazy. You so crazy. Any comment on the Randall Thrasher 50? I have no idea. I've never tried one. Of course, I'd love to try anything, but there are so many amps out there that I haven't tried. So yeah, it's really, I can't comment on that amplifier. I mean, it seems like a great one from the videos that I have seen. I wouldn't mind trying one or having one. What do you think, Wout Linders, what do you think about the Boss MS3? I don't even know what that is. I'm sorry. No opinion on that. And yeah, Ben, you're very smart. You're a smart person. Michael van Gelder, happy birthday, my good man. Thank you so much. Daniel, don't forget the Misha versus Rabia. Yeah, man. I'm going to make the Victory Kraken versus Invective MH high gain comparison very soon. Stay tuned. It's going to be fun. Brun van der Horst, congrats from Delft. Thanks. Hi to Delft. Sup? Couple more minutes, guys. If you have questions, drop them right now. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, also do so right now. Ha ha ha. Rodrigo Machado, are you sponsored in your YouTube channel? Well, sometimes I get free gear and stuff like that to use in videos, if that answers your question. But I also need to feed the kids, man, so I could use some more sponsors. When recording, what interface do you use? I usually use my Fractal Audio XFX3 because it's very easy to me to record my DI signals and reamp with effects, reamp with my amplifiers into a loop with one of those cables, the Humbuster cables. It helps to keep the noise low. So that's basically what I usually use. That guy, thoughts on the full tone GT500? It's an oldie, but I'd like to know your opinion. No clue what that is. Sorry for the short answer. Noel Loper, happy birthday. Would you recommend to buy the Engel Fireball 100? I'm now playing guitar for 5 years. Dude, that's one of the most killer amps that you can ever buy. Just keep in mind that it's a single EQ amplifier, so it has a shared EQ. So if you're going to use it live, maybe it's not versatile enough. Maybe you should get a Powerball instead because it has more knobs and more switches. But for recording and everything, and for the heavy tones and the clean tones and even the crunch tones, this is so hard to beat. It's one of those amps that I would recommend to everybody. I'm also using this on my new project right now for the main guitar tones because it's just always good, you know? The Fireball 100. Okay, 3 minutes to go. Questions, final questions. Come on, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. If you guys have any questions or any comments, dude, only 9 subscribers to go to reach my goal. Thank you so much, guys. Almost at 36,000. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Michael van Gelder, where can we find your music? Well, all my music from the past 5 years or so is on my channel. I used to play in a band called Entwine. You can look up some of the later albums of that band on Spotify, I guess. I'm not on Spotify myself, but albums like Kingdom of Contradiction, Pyrrhic Victory, and stuff like that. But as I said before, I'm going to release a new project soon with a singer, which is going to be fucking awesome. Sorry for my French. And I think you guys are going to love it. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to release a video on the channel hopefully soon. Juan Pablo, which IR loader do you use? In my DAW, I use Libra by Ignite. I'm going to move through the last 2 minutes. MJ Lakeworth, where did you find new musicians for your new project? Friends that I knew already. Connections. Thanks for the comments, Wout. Did you ever build a pedal board? No, I do not. I've got a whammy pedal and a wah pedal on the floor that I sometimes use, but I don't use a lot of pedals when I'm recording. Wombat Studios, Wongs into 2 notes, what matters the most? Load box or IR? Both. A good reactive load is very important. Should I replace with Red 7 for a better sound? I would do that, but that's just my personal preference. Simon says TV with Roger Peterson. Man, Roger is one of the best dudes ever, one of the best singers ever. I hope to release music with him in the future. It's a logistical thing because he lives on the other side of the world, but hopefully, yeah, that's definitely on my wish list for the future to work with Roger again. I talk to him quite often, but it's kind of hard to make music when he's on the other side of the world, you know. The Wong's amps are very sturdy and durable. As far as I know, they're not shitty at all. They're handmade boutique amplifiers that I highly recommend with quality parts. Ben, can you reveal who the singer is for your new project? His name is Sven. van Geest, and he used to be the singer for 9 Volt, but he is great at screaming. He's going to blow your tits off. Noel, what's your favorite band? Oh, so many bands. Can't choose. Brun Intwine with that singer that went on the Idol show. Yes, that's correct. Hey, Asylum Studios. I'm just about to close the live chat, but thanks for tuning in. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I had a great 2 hours chatting with you guys on my birthday, 36. Woo, yay. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all your subscribes or your comments. Stay tuned for more quality content in the future. Video coming tomorrow on the Schecter 9-string. Hopefully it's going to be fun. Yeah, just thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys, and I appreciate every ounce of support that you've given me over the years, and I hope you guys stick around for more content. Yeah, I just got to go right now because I'm going to eat some food with my family and chill for a bit. But yeah, thanks again for everything. You're the best. And also thank you guys for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, Brun. Yeah, man. That was my old band. I love playing in that band. Really enjoyed that. Enjoy your birthday. Thank you. Hope you get some new extra sponsors. We will see. Fingers crossed. Okay, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to tune out right now and hopefully see you guys soon. Stay tuned. And thanks again, guys. See ya.